Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, welcome to this, which is, you might be surprised to know, the 11th graduation of our season. And over the 7 days of our graduations, over 5,000 students will cross this stage and receive their degrees. So this is a very big celebration for us as well as for them. I'm John Craven, I'm the university's Vice-Chancellor, and in case you're not really used to the strange titles that we give ourselves, that means that I'm something like the Chief Executive of the organisation, and therefore it might be thought that my job is to try to make the university run smoothly and well, which of course it always does. But the great thing about running a university is that what we consist of is 20,000 students and over 2,000 staff, all of whom are highly talented and motivated people who want the best, of course, for themselves, as everybody does, but also for each other. And therefore, having the opportunity to run an organisation of this kind simply really means trying to make sure that all that talent is well directed and everybody is well supported. And of course, the most important thing to do today is to congratulate our graduating students and to say well done on getting here for the several years, 3 or 4 years, whatever it might be, that you've been studying with us. You've been supported by two groups of people whom I want to say thank you to on your behalf. And the first of those is the, well over 2,000, but the staff of the university, many of whom are sitting on the stage behind me, who have come deliberately and with enthusiasm to celebrate with you your success. But without them, I suspect that a number of you might have found the journey to today rather more challenging, and perhaps some of you might not have made it at all. Staff within your own department, the people who've taught you, but also the people all across the university who in 100 different ways have helped and supported you in your journey from that day, which may not seem very long ago, 3 years ago or so when you joined us, through to today, graduation and celebration of success. So on your behalf, I just want to say a very big thank you, and on my behalf too, a very big thank you to the staff of the university for what they have done for you and what they do for the university generally. The second group of people to whom thanks are undoubtedly due are the rest of you sitting in front of me, the families, friends and supporters of all our graduating students. And you've been supporting your student over not just the period that they've been with us in Portsmouth, but probably for many years before that. And it may well have been that 3 or so years ago there was a great change in your lives because your student left home and came to live here, and no doubt you have seen great changes in them during the period that they've been studying and working and living in Portsmouth. But I know what it's like. I'm the father of 2 now graduated students, and I know that even if you are at a distance, you are still a hugely important part of the support for your student during the time that they're studying. And they will email you or phone you or whatever methods they now use to communicate, and you will be there to offer them help and reassurance. It might be that they phone up and say, I've got an essay or a project due tomorrow and I haven't quite started yet. And although you probably can't really help very materially in enabling them to get that underway and make progress on it, you can reassure them that it's not the end of the world, that they still have all sorts of other things in life, including your support. You can be there at those moments in their lives of pressure or crisis and provide that reassurance. Or, of course, they will phone up, and it tends to be late at night when you're at your weakest, and say, I've run out of money. And you know about that one as well. So I'm very grateful for all that you have done to support our students in reaching their graduation. And we have a tradition at our ceremonies, because it's well known that students can make a lot of noise. I can show you the letters I get about it. And so what I want our graduating students to do is to, in a very student way, to clap and cheer and applaud your families, friends and supporters for all that they have done for you, and you do that now. And ladies and gentlemen, it isn't always in the British character to be terribly effusive about saying thank you, but I can assure you they really do mean it. And one day you'll discover how much they mean it, because it will be their turn to buy you dinner, and that day will come. So you're graduating today, and today is the day of celebration, but we can't quite go through today and ignore the fact that perhaps compared with what things might have been like when you joined the university, the world out there has changed. A number of major bad decisions by people in powerful and influential places have led to a circumstance where it doesn't take me to tell you that the job market, the possibilities for what you're going to do in the future are that much harder than we would want them to be, and that they perhaps were a few years ago. And that is because people who really should have known better took risks with other people's money, behaved irresponsibly, became greedy, decided that they could pretend that the good times could go on forever without any real visible means of support. And so we've ended up with a very large national debt and a banking system that has almost ground to a halt. And the consequence of that is that our graduating students find it harder than perhaps we would want them to, well, certainly than we would want them to, in going out into the world. And while you're thinking about that, and while you're just working out how you're going to get into that interesting career, which I'm sure will come your way, I just want you to reflect on some of the things that you've learnt while you've been with us. And of course, you've studied for your degree, and you've learnt a lot about whatever your particular subject might be, but you've also learnt quite a lot of other things. And one of the things that I hope you do take out is the confidence to say, in a terribly polite Portsmouth way, but to say to those people who might think they know better than you, and who might think that you should kowtow to your elders and betters, is that really what we should be doing? Is that really the right decision? Use the confidence that I hope you've gained with us, and the knowledge that you've gained with us, to challenge and to make sure that as your generation progresses through to become the decision makers in our organisations of whatever kind they might be, that you are being very thoughtful and thinking through the consequences of the decisions that you make, and helping others who might think they know better than you do to do that as well. So use some of that Portsmouth pride and Portsmouth confidence to make sure that you make your input, and that we manage to mend things and make things better again. And of course, you've also had the opportunity to learn alongside people whose journeys into university are very different from yours. You've had the opportunity to live alongside people who have come from 100 different countries, all sorts of things that you have done that you take out as part of your Portsmouth experience, well beyond just having learnt your subject, which is, of course, hugely important, but it's far from everything. So take those thoughts, and today's not the day to worry about those. Today's the day to celebrate what you have achieved, and to celebrate that alongside all the people, staff, and your families and friends, to celebrate what you've done. But you'll then need to turn your thoughts to the future and just bear those things in mind. So once again, to all our graduating students and to all of you who have supported them, my thanks and hearty congratulations on behalf of the university. Thank you.